Hey everybody, AC here, and welcome back to another part of my Sonic timeline theory. We're at part 4 now, and this is the Rivals era. First off, after the events of Sonic 06, we get the events of Sonic Rush, the Sonic Rush game, Sonic Rush and Sonic Rush Adventure. We get both of those back to back. So Sonic and Blaze officially meet for the first time. They were in the same general area a couple times in the events of Sonic 06, but they never acknowledged each other's existences. So they officially meet for the first time in this game, in Sonic Rush. And they become friends. They are rivals, but they do become friends, and we also get the introduction of an alternate version of Dr. Eggman, Eggman Nega. He is going to pop up a few more times throughout this era. So given how this was his introduction, it has to take place before the other times he shows up. So Sonic Rush and Sonic Rush Adventure are the first two things in this timeline. Sonic Rush Adventure obviously happens after Sonic Rush, and we get introduced to Marie the Raccoon. As well as Captain. Oh God, what was it? It's a robot. It's a robot version of Eggman. Oh God, it's been ages since I played that game. Sonic Rush Adventure villain. Captain Whisker. And Captain Whisker is basically a robotic Eggman. Blaze and Sonic are together again. And this time, instead of in the original Sonic Rush, where Blaze gets sent to Sonic's dimension, in Sonic Rush Adventure, they end up going to Blaze's dimension, where she is the protector of the Soul Emeralds. And they meet Marie, and they end up teaming up. The three of them end up teaming up together in order to stop Captain Whiskers. After that, Sonic returns to his world, where the events of Sonic Rivals and Sonic Rivals 2 take place. For Sonic Rivals, he ends up racing against Shadow, Knuckles, and Silver, who has now come back from the future. Now that Iblis is no longer a threat. Silver is facing a new threat. Silver is facing a new threat. Now that the timeline has changed, because they eliminated Iblis and Mephiles at the end of Sonic 06. That means that Iblis was never fully awakened in Silver's timeline. So Silver's timeline changed. Silver's timeline was changed, and so now, thanks to that change, the future now has its own Eggman Nega, and this is a different Eggman Nega from the one we see in Sonic Rush. It is not the same one. So the Soul Dimension has an Eggman Nega, but this new future that was created that Silver has to deal with has its own Eggman Nega. So they are two separate beings. They're two separate beings that exist in two separate dimensions. And he is the main villain of both Rivals and Rivals 2. Of course, in Rivals 2, he's trying to awaken an ancient beast that is very similar to Iblis, in the sense that it is a fire demon. So, in Rivals, he's got a gun that turns people into cards, and he plans to turn the whole planet into a card. And I don't know what his plan is after that. Just die in the cold vacuum of space, I guess. But in Sonic Rivals 2, his plan makes a bit more sense. He plans to awaken an ancient fire demon. So since the timeline was changed, Iblis still exists, but as just an ancient fire demon that was sealed away, instead of being as like an evil being that exists within the body of a princess who's not allowed to cry even once, otherwise the world will end. So anyway, so after the events of Sonic Rivals and Sonic Rivals 2, with Sonic Rivals, you have in Sonic Rivals you've got Rouge, you've got the introduction of Rouge, Tails, Espio, and Metal Sonic now working in teams with Sonic, Shadow, Knuckles, and Silver. Shadow and Metal Sonic are working together. Knuckles and Rouge are working together. Silver and Espio are working together, and Sonic and Tails are working together. And this would not be the first time. That Shadow teams up with Metal Sonic. This would not be the first time Shadow teams up with Metal Sonic, or the first time that Silver teams up with Espio. We will see that happen again. We will see both of those team ups happen again later. So we know that Sonic Rivals and Sonic Rivals 2 both have to happen, not just for Eggman Nega's introduction in Sonic Rush, but also for the events of an upcoming Sonic game, which we will get to in just a minute. But next up is Sonic Riders, the Sonic Riders trilogy. Sonic Riders, Sonic Riders Zero Gravity, and Sonic Free Riders. All three are canon. They all take place. It is the trilogy that introduces Jet, Wave, and Storm, I believe. It introduces the Babylon Rogues, the three Babylon Rogues. So we know that, and we do know, thanks to the trophy room in Sonic Generations, that these games do happen as the three Babylon Rogues each have their own trophies in Sonic Generations. So the fact that Sonic Generations, one of the key canon games, references Sonic Riders means this trilogy has to take place. And I firmly believe that it takes place at the end of this current era, because the next era is the World Tour era. Where Sonic gets a real taste for adventure and traveling the world, and seeing a whole bunch of different stuff. So given the very next game in the timeline, I firmly believe that the Sonic Riders trilogy has to take place just before that. That this is the thing that gets him to be like, hey, I want to see what else the world has to offer me. So Sonic Riders, Zero Gravity, and then Free Riders take place. And in Free Riders, we see the team ups of team ups again. We see Knuckles and Metal. We see Knuckles and Metal Sonic. I believe in that one. In that one team up. We also see them team up in Sonic Team Racing. In Sonic Team Racing, Shadow Rouge and Metal Sonic are all teamed up in a team. And then Silver, Blaze, and Espio are in a team. So we know that Silver and Blaze are still connected. They are still connected. So most likely, like, Silver travels from the future to Blaze's dimension, or Blaze travels from her dimension to the future to see Silver. But regardless, we do see them team up. We do see them team up a couple times throughout the series. So there's Sonic Rivals 2 there, and then Sonic Riders. So that is the full timeline for the Rivals era. All 7 games in the Rivals era, right there. So next up is the World Tour era. That's going to be part 5. That's going to be part 5. That's going to be part 5 of 7. So that's it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. If you did enjoy it, please like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, all that good jazz. And I will see you all in the next video for part 5. Take care, everybody.